You know that sound? It's the sound of your host getting his coffee ready. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's Mystery Monday. It's a very exciting week for me. I've got loads and loads of stuff to tell you, loads of photographs to share with you, loads of new members to welcome. And the person who's going to be doing that is me. I'm sharing a screen, which I didn't mean to. It's me, myself and I, in the Creative Smartphone Photography group, and today's Mystery Monday, when we look at the photographs that you have submitted on a theme. And last week's theme was something like, give me your hands. And the idea was that you posted photographs with some representation of your hands in the photograph. And a few of you did. It wasn't the easiest theme. I think this stumbled people a little bit because the themes before it were a little bit more obvious. One was blue, and then the one after that was doors. And then suddenly I said, what about if you do something with your hands in the shots? So I did. I mean, okay, no, I was going to say something, but I won't. So let's have a look at what else has been going on this week. This just shows it should be starting at some point. There's a bit of a time lag, so I am assuming that this is working okay. Let me just refresh that and see. So I've got two screens open, and what happens is I should see my video starting a few seconds after I actually really start. And it doesn't say that it is. So I'm wondering if I'm actually going to maybe stop and start again just in case. Because it would be a real shame for me not to actually be broadcasting. Let's see if it's broadcasting to... No, that's not going to work, is it? All right, let's see. Am I live? Well, it says I'm live, so it says I'm live. So these things happen, you see, and I guess I'm going to believe that I'm live and have done with it. All right, fair enough. Slight minor extreme panic there, but I'm gonna hope that I am live, and I kind of feel live, so I'm gonna go with that feeling and see what happens. If you are watching this, please comment, and I will. If you're underneath where the video is playing, you'll see comments, and if you can comment, then I'll know that you're there and that I'm alive. I've hardly had a more jittery start to one of these shows, but there you go. So let's let me tell you quickly something very exciting. I just discovered that, I don't know if you can see there, but it says there are now 100 members in this group, 100 members in the Creative Smartphone Photography group. So that's doubled from about last week for some magical reason. And I've got a comment. Is it someone saying that I'm alive? Yes. So, hello. If you want for me to see your name, because I can't actually see your name. So if you actually go here, all right, you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and you just click yes or accept. I can see who you are. Okay, it might be Yaruska or someone like that. So I'm going to launch, I'm going to very quickly first tell you that next week there will be no themes in the group because it will be entirely devoted to, to stunning selfies for social media. Okay, this is going to be a 5-day challenge, and it's going to be about selfies, and it's going to be 5 days, and on each day I give you a new technique or way of taking a photograph of yourself with your smartphone, which will make it look like nothing else you have ever seen. So it's a fun thing. The videos that you will receive you have to sign up for it. The videos you receive each day will be short, and they will have one technique. And the assignment is to go out, or even in your own place for some of them, shoot a selfie, and then you post it in the group, and you will finish the week, the 5 days, with 5 amazing new techniques and at least five amazing new selfies. So that's the idea. So go there, you find this in the group, and I can't wait to get that going. Yesterday, I did a Showcase Sunday theme post, and loads of you contributed photographs. It was fantastic. So I'm going to look at some of those after I have looked at the Mystery Monday shots. I will just tell you one more thing, though, and that one more thing is, if you go to this page, is this going to come up for me? If you go to this page, infinitecreativitynow.com, you will discover the 2 ways in which you can be with me, interact with me, and improve your photography with me in the next little while. So if you go to this infinitecreativitynow.com, you will find this. Let me just get rid of this. And this. Sometimes I can get too clever for my own good. There we go. You'll see this page, and there are 2 things to click here. One is this, join now. Click here, and you can join the free 5-day challenge. You get to a page like this, and you click here, yes, I'm in, and this pops up, and you sign up, and you're good to go. If you click on this second one, this is a rather secret. I haven't talked about it yet. It's my brand new 9-week creative experience, which is coming up in February, starting in February, and early bird booking is now open, early bird pricing. So that's special pricing. And if you click there, you go to a page which looks surprisingly similar, but in this case, you actually end up paying the early bird price for the program. I haven't done all the marketing yet. That's to come. But if you know that you want to be in and you want to catch that early bird price, which is $100 off the standard price, then check it out. I'll tell you now, between you and me, if you're still here, then to thank people that I know, there is an even lower price, and it's the friends and family price. But if you want that, contact me, and I'll let you know where that page is. I can't release it publicly because the lowest public price is this early bird price. That's it. It's 8 minutes, and I haven't even talked about any photographs yet. And I had a panic thinking that I wasn't live. So it hasn't started well, has it? Right, let's go back to Mystery Monday. Mystery Monday, I have to put a note in the video saying start from 8 minutes in if you just want to look at photographs. Mystery Monday was this strange theme about the hands, wasn't it? It was Hand It To Me, I called it. The idea being that you put your hands in the shot. This was my attempt to give you an idea of what you could do. Right, there it is. And it was me holding onto the Eiffel Tower. And this actually ended up being the very last shot in volume 1 of my Paris Photo Chronicles. It's a little model. It's this actually, a little painted model, which I played with. It was 9 times 9 times 9 photos and texts, and this was number 729, and now I've started a new volume. So that was an idea, and then let's see what people did. Alice here, who has actually come to Paris for a photo tour with me, and I thought she hadn't done this. I thought she just posted a selfie by mistake, but in fact, you can see her hand is actually on her face. It's marvelous. So that's great, isn't it? Her hand is in the shot, even though you can't see her actual hand. So that was rather clever. This is again Alice, so she posted a couple at the same time. And this is a theme which was quite popular. It was shadow hands. So she isn't the first person to do this, actually. So if we have a look at this, you can see this shadow hand. And What's nice is that you've got these really strong lines going like this of the garage, but you've also, or whatever it is, you know, the windows or the shutters. And then you've got her hand, which is actually similar, going across it. So, and there's nothing in the shot except the hand and the background. And of course, because the hand is a shadow, it doesn't cover the background. It actually takes on the form of the background. So it's actually got the ribs bit along the hand. That's really good. And it's also monochrome. You know, you wouldn't really say there's any color in there at all. So that's quite a strong shot, I think. Kind of, what does she say? She says, kind of eerie photo of freehand near siding of home. All right. 𝗪𝗡𝗙𝗓𝗓 says, here is my 2-year-old nephew looking for his car. I think it says his car in the black hole. I think she translates from Spanish. So sometimes the translator isn't perfect. Yeah, and this is really an intriguing shot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, okay, I'm going to guess. I think it's maybe in a playground. And this is some soft thing so that kids don't hurt themselves if they fall off. And it's obviously lived some. And it actually looks very strangely like a kind of a hole in the universe with this special effect. I don't know how she's done it, but this special effect shining through. And there's a car next to it. Amazing rich colors. It's really primary colors, isn't it? You've got a bit of blue up in the top left, a massive bunch of red, surrounded by green. Red and green go very nicely together, those complementary colors. And then you've got the yellow car down in the bottom right. So bottom right, yellow car, top left, blue, little bit of blue, probably his jacket or something, or his t-shirt. And that's interesting because those two are complementary colors as well. The blue and the yellow really complement each other well. And then you've got the red and the green, which go very strongly together. And then you've got a bit of skin tone. You've got a bit of black, which is this universe type thing. And you've got the shining effect coming out of it. So it's a very, very interesting photograph. And also the green beautifully surrounds the red on two sides and then going into the other two sides. Very well composed photograph as well. The more I look at it, the more impressed I am with it. Great stuff. 𝗙𝗙𝗓𝗓 was one of the first, I think, one of the first to do this. She says it's a sequel to the door theme. Here's a photo with an alien type hand. Yeah, it is really weird, isn't it? It looks like it goes up at an angle and then suddenly juts off because the actual angle of the door changes there. So that's pretty weird, pretty spooky, and very much in the spirit of this theme of putting your hand in the shot. When I had this idea, I was thinking I would see bits of everybody's hand in the shot. They would be making frames and things like this, whereas in fact a lot of people chose to make the shadow of their hand be the representation of their hand. And you've got lots of, again, you've got exactly the same thing. You've got the lines of the door going up and down, and you've got the contrasting lines of the fingers going across. Contrasts, dark and light, nice lines, excellent. Thanks for contributing that, TC. 𝗪𝗡𝗙𝗓𝗓. Now, what does she say here? She says, New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody, if I didn't see you last time on the show I did on Saturday. New Year on the beach, because 𝗪𝗡𝗙𝗓𝗓 is from Peru. So they have, it's like when I was in Australia, I was amazed as a 9-year-old. We had Christmas dinner on the beach. She says, on the beach, many tents and people everywhere. I see a woman putting on makeup through a tent in a hurry. It takes minutes for the new year. The shadow of the hands look like the head of a horse with a hat. That is great, isn't it? Yeah, there's the horse's head with a hat on it. But in fact, it's probably a woman holding a mirror or maybe even a smartphone, putting makeup on. She's got a great eye, you know, that's really, really excellent stuff. This is from Maurice, and she says it's a clumsy effort, but I don't know why you say that, Maurice, because I didn't think clumsy when I saw this. I thought, great, at last somebody is using their hand as a frame, because that's what I was really looking for. And very few people did. It's a frame where she's blocked out everything except this little doggy's head. And that the doggy's head is actually nicely framed. Excuse me. Oh, I'm not boring myself, I hope. So that's actually the spirit of what I was looking for, someone framing things with their hands. But very few people did. So good for you for doing that. Right, this is Rob 𝗙𝗛𝗙𝗎𝗓. And Rob, my goodness, I don't think we've ever met, but we do go back quite a long way. And in terms of Paris photography, I know that Rob has been taking photographs of Paris for a long time, and so have I. And he's contributed this. I've got a comment here. Let's see if it says who it is. C'est plus joli, c'est plus joli. I wonder who says this. I don't know who says this. Okay, sorry. So if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just accept, it's one click, then I can see who you are when you leave comments. If you haven't done that, I don't know who you are, and I haven't got the other window open. I closed it. So where was I? Yeah, shall I have that one up there? Ask your questions in the chat, encourage you. So this is Rob, and he says, I'm late to this party, but it's not the next Monday. So he was worried he was going to miss it. No, Rob, you didn't miss it. Yet, golly gee, here's a G chord. And there's his hand. He's a guitar player. So he's got his hand in the shot. And it's kind of weird because the hand looks like it doesn't actually have a wrist. It looks like it's just these kind of gory, chopped off fingers sitting on the guitar neck there. And there's nothing but the guitar neck and the hand, the fingers. It's rather spooky, rather weird, actually, the way the wrist has just disappeared. So that's a good one. That's a great effort. And you see, it didn't take much effort to do that. I mean, well, maybe he took effort, but he was just there. I guess he had a guitar. He put it against the background, which has a nice sort of tone to it, but there's nothing getting in the way of the shot. It's a very pure shot. And these are little things to, if I spot something I think might be useful for you, I'll point it out. There's nothing behind this. It's an utterly pure still life of guitar, neck, and hand on it. So thanks for contributing, Rob. That's the first time you have done, and I'm very happy you're here. I probably said something like that, did I? Yeah, I said, cool, thanks for playing, Rob. And hang on, I'll make it bigger again. And that I would comment on this on tomorrow's Facebook Live, which is now. And he said, I see what you did there, because he thought I was being clever and saying thanks for playing, because he's playing guitar. But I always say thanks for playing, because it's a game to contribute photographs. So he thought I was being funnier than I actually was. So those are the contributions to this week's theme of the hand in the photograph. Sometimes it was the real hand, sometimes it was a shadow. Just wondering if there were any others that I have missed. Sometimes they don't show all of the comments. That's probably it, yeah. Okay, so it wasn't the easiest theme this week. There have been easier ones, but excellent range. And I do encourage you next time for the next theme to contribute. And I'm going to tell you what the next theme is right now. And the next theme is, funnily enough, selfies, because this is going to warm you up for the 5-day selfie challenge. The 5-day selfie challenge starts next Monday. It's free, of course. It's in this group where it happens, but you have to sign up here in order to do it. Okay, so you sign up by going here to infinitecreativitynow.com, and you sign up by clicking this button here, or you can just go to this page, which is in the group, Stunning Selfies for Social Media. You find it in the announcements, and you can also sign up here by clicking here. So sign up, it's free, it'll be really fun. even if you don't like taking selfies, I highly recommend you do this 5-day challenge, because it's a completely new way of improving your photography. Okay, it's nothing like the daily prompts in the group or the Facebook Lives. No, it's recorded videos. You sign up for 5 days, you get a recorded video. It's short, it's snappy. There's one technique, and then you go and shoot a selfie. And when I say selfie, people often think about these awful sort of things, you know, you're pouting, or you're a teenage girl, or I mean, I have nothing against teenage girls, but they do tend to do these certain style of selfies. This is not what it's about. It's about pure creativity. It's about taking the most creative self-portraits you ever have done. So to warm up for it, the week's theme until next Sunday, okay, not until Monday, because we'll be doing the challenge, is to take a creative selfie of you. In other words, I'm not going to give you any hints, any ideas. I'm just going to say, don't do this. Okay, don't take a standard selfie. Anything but that. Be creative. And then that'll be a great starting point for launching into the 5-day challenge. So I do hope you join the 5-day challenge, and it's going to be amazing. And at the end of it, you will have 5 different amazing selfies that you can use in your social media. People will think, wow, I've never seen such a creative picture of you. And you did it all on your own, just you and your smartphone. So the theme for this week, for the next 5 days or so until the weekend, is selfies. Take an interesting selfie and post it, a creative one. I'm going to show you. What am I going to show you? Now we're going to look at some of the photographs that were posted on Sunday, yesterday, in other words. I had a lot of new members coming in this week, and many of them posted into the Sunday group. Sunday Showcase Sunday, which is where you post anything you like. It's not about feedback. It's not about asking for tips. It's about posting photographs you love, that you happen to have on your phone, and just feeling the love come back. Right, I've got another comment. Let's have a look. Alice, sounds fun. I never take selfies, she says. Yes, Alice. Well, you know, I was going to say neither do I, but that's not true. I do. Yeah, and don't worry about, you know, if you're not too comfortable about yourself being on camera. It's not really about that, to be honest. A lot of people, they do like to have, would like to have creative photographs of themselves to use, not just, you know, embarrassing ones or ones they're not comfortable with. And that's what you will definitely get. But the thing is, how to get them. You know, most people, they do the standard thing. They hold the phone up, make some sort of grin, and that's their selfie. But I'm not talking about selfies. I'm talking about self-portraits full of creativity and uniqueness. So it will be fun. It absolutely will. Yeah. And so I did want to have a look through some of the amazing shots a lot of people shared. There was one particular shot I wanted to look at, which wasn't one of the standard ones. It was in the introductory thread. If you haven't introduced yourself yet, go to the introductory thread, please, and introduce yourself. And I'm going to try and find it, because I want to show you a particular selfie to give you an idea of the sort of things. I've got to be careful what I say here, because I love the photograph and I love the person, but it's a good example of the sort of selfies we're not going to be taking. Now, where is it? Yeah, here we go. So it's in this thread here, smile and say hello. And if you haven't done it yet, do it. Go there. It's in the announcements. Go to smile and say hello, and you give a little introduction to yourself, and you post a selfie. And it was one of the last ones. Yeah, here we go. All right, this is the one I want to show you. I mean, it could be any of them, to be honest. This is Maurice, and she is lovely, one of the loveliest people I know. She's taken a standard head-on selfie, which is okay. It's beautiful. It's a lovely photograph, but it's not the sort of selfie that we're going to do. Here's another new member, and it's Deborah, and she's taken a selfie when she was cooking in the kitchen. Now, you see what's happening here. There's a theme. It's just a head-on picture. And if we look at a few more, we'll probably see some other similar ones. Okay, it's head-on pictures. That's me. Some people have tried to get a bit more creative, but you know, in many cases, it's just literally hold the phone up, smile, and this is me. And that's what we're not going to be doing on the 5-day challenge. Okay, we're going to move away from that. So I just wanted to show you that quickly. Showcase Sunday. By the way, if anyone is watching and you would like to come on with me, then there is a link underneath this video in the comments. You click and you come on and you can talk about the shots with me. Always feel free to do that. I'd love to have more people doing that. Right, so I was struck with a ton of excellent, beautiful photographs that people just found lying on their smartphones. This one is from 𝗙𝗛𝗙𝗓𝗓, and we're starting this at about 25 minutes in. Okay, just so that I can reference it. 𝗙𝗛𝗓, who is a new member, said, life can take you many places. However, where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. All is good. And the discussion from this came along, said, I woke up this morning. I do like you, when you post a photograph, always give a little bit of explanation so that we can, so we know more about it. It says, I woke up this morning. She's in Denmark. I woke up this morning feeling blessed with the infinite possibilities of every new day, did my yoga and went uphill as the sun was about to rise. Someone else says, Joanne says, I like how the sun is cradled by the arms of the tree. Yes, it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's a lovely tree. And what happens is when you have a bright light behind something, which has an interesting form, it blacks out. You know, you get a silhouette. And that's what's happened here. So that is absolutely lovely. Thanks for sharing that. Lovely colors, almost sort of muted colors. See the way it goes from this almost blown out, almost white, just a rich yellowy white in the middle. And if you follow it out, it goes out, gets lighter peachy color, bits of blue starting to come in, and then out to a softer kind of almost grayish blue there, because there's not enough light in the sky yet to have brightened it. So, you know, it's not moving out to bright blue, it's moving out to sort of grayish blue almost. Very, very nice. And that's the thing about smartphone photography. She had it with her. I guess it's a smartphone. She had it with her, whereas in many cases you wouldn't have your big fancy camera. So now 𝗙𝗙𝗓𝗓 contributed. I have to watch out not to miss out here. Alice commented on this. Oh, what Alice did? No, hang on, getting confused here. Alice says, love being in Bradford. Thanks for this shot. Alice, I didn't know you knew Bradford. Watching those who go for wonderful walks with their dogs or their friends. If I understand right then, Alice, it means that you know Bradford, because I went to university in Bradford for 3 years. Bradford, for those of you who don't know, is a town up in the north of England, in Yorkshire. And yes, it has lovely scenery, but it also, the weather isn't always that great. And Jackie Harrison, hi Jackie, says, a grey and drizzling morning in Yorkshire. And she's doing hashtag 100 days of walking on Twitter. X is maybe it's a kiss. And her photograph is this. Look at that sky. A dark, what's the word for that? Lowering sky, something like that. And there's someone walking their dog. You know, it doesn't seem that dark. Maybe the camera brightened it up a bit, but glowering sky. Yeah. Yeah, that's typical of Yorkshire. These not stunningly high mountains or anything, but lovely rolling hills. You can't see too many rolling hills there either. This looks like a bit of flat field. But anyway, this is Yorkshire. Right, now 𝗙𝗙𝗓𝗓 said, isn't this stunning? I mean, isn't that just amazing? Those colors. And you can see in the bottom half of the picture, you're looking through the water. I think you've got half reflections, half is that brown bit, the bottom of the lake. It's incredible. This one was on my phone, unshared. Do not disturb the water comes to mind. A line from my favorite movie, Another Day in the Park. Not today though. Do not disturb the water. What movie would that be, I wonder? And it's just, the colors are so rich and so lovely. It's, it's difficult to know where to start, really. The photograph seems to be in 3 strips. There's the top strip, which is the leaves going down to the water. There's a middle strip, which is the water, and there's a very strange ripples here, ripples there, and ripples there. I wonder, did you cheat? Did you throw a stone into the water to make the water more interesting before you took the shot? That's something I might, sometimes a little bit sneaky, disturb nature just a tiny bit if it's going to make the photograph a bit more interesting. One example of that, I'm not sure if I should tell you this, but in some of my photographs, you'll see that there are birds flying. Now, I don't throw stones at the birds to make them fly, but sometimes there's a bird sitting on a statue, and I'm just praying that it'll actually fly off and that I'll catch it. And it's surprisingly difficult to catch the bird between it sitting on the statue and it flying off and out of the frame. And the temptation sometimes is you can wait for hours and you think, when is it going to move? And then you turn your head and you think, forget it, and boom, off it goes. And the temptation is to try and scare it to fly off. Anyway, so I wonder if you threw a stone in to give those ripples or not. And then this bottom third is a kind of combination of the lake and the bottom of the lake, is that brown bit, and the reflections of the trees. I'm thinking that's what it is. So that is just, it's just colors, drowning my eyes in colors. Lovely. And now this was outside was very popular. Somebody actually said it seems like a lot of the people in this group love outside scenes. Lots of people are giving a lot of love to that photograph, giving us a calm feeling, says Rob. So clear and serene, says Alice. Absolutely, yeah. Now here's another one. An early entry into the Showcase Sunday, which is, remember, post anything you love. There's no theme, there's no rules, just anything you love from your smartphone. This is from Christina. Hi, Christina. Now, she's originally from, I think she's Swedish or something, or half Swedish. But she lives near Glasgow in Scotland, and I was born in Edinburgh, which is also in Scotland. And she says, November at 𝗪𝗓𝗓 in the Trossachs. I'm afraid my Scottish accent is not Scottish, even though I was born in Scotland. I left when I was 2. But I know that the Scottish for lake is loch, not loch. If you're an English person, you say Loch Ness. And the Scots people say, oh, it's Loch Ness. So this is 𝗪𝗓𝗓 in the Trossachs. Winter is colourful too. I love being out in the forest so much. It makes me so happy and peaceful. And there is always something new to discover. Well, that is a stunning photograph, isn't it? It's an almost perfect reflection. If it were too perfect, people end up saying, oh, they've probably used a mirror effect. But it's not perfect in the sense that it's a clear reflection. The reflection is actually fuzzy, which I prefer, to be honest, in this case, because it makes it a bit more human and an interest. It is it's this marvelous kind of which way my hand's going. I can never get this right. The way it goes down like that is like an arrowhead zooming off to the right hand side, with the middle bit is in more or less the middle of the photograph, which can be okay. Sometimes you think people say don't put the middle of the photograph or the horizon in the middle of the photograph. If there's a straight line with something similar above and below, even if it's like half of it's the sky and half of it's a field, the composition is normally nicer if the dividing line isn't slap bang in the middle. But rules are made to be broken. Exceptions prove the rule as well sometimes. And in this case, because it's such a stunning reflection, it's not bad to put the middle line, the horizontal line, in the middle, because it just emphasizes the stunning reflection. And it's not perfectly symmetrical up and down, because you've got the sky goes up to the top left and fills in a bit of the top left, but in the bottom it doesn't. You've got the ground. And then the trees aren't reflections. They unify both. You see those bits of trees going up, they unify the two. They almost look like they could be reflections because they just carry on up. But in this case, they're not, of course. So that is, and the colours, well, I mean, the colours are stunning as well, aren't they? What is that? Is it heather? Sometimes the heather goes brown in the winter, I think. I wasn't too far from here this year. I was in the Lake District visiting my parents where they live now. And so that was from Christina, her first contribution. Thank you very much. Now, Gail has posted something which is much more everyday-ish. Not really about nature, but it's a lovely moment. As Rob said, I like these moments on time. And Gail says, my kid's on our way to London Oxford Street for a spot of shopping. And I was wondering where it is, because, you know, Oxford Street is the middle of London. How can there be this kind of empty park? But then I remembered that London is famous for its parks. It's got a huge Hyde Park. It's got the huge Regent's Park. And it's also got Green Park, which is quite near Oxford Street and near to Buckingham Palace as well. And then there's St James's Park too. So there's lots of parks in London. Green Park is probably the least original name for a park I've ever heard. But anyway, it isn't Green Park, it's Hyde Park, as she said. And off they go. Off they go to do some shopping in between, well, maybe in between Christmas and New Year, or maybe it was just a couple of days ago. And how can you move photographs like this away from a family snap into something a bit more, not exactly epic, but timeless? Well, their faces aren't in the shot. And funnily enough, you take someone's face out and immediately it becomes more universal. As soon as you've got a picture of someone's face, you think, oh yeah, it's Jackie, you know, oh yeah, it's John or something. And you've lost any sort of universality. It's just a person. But if you get rid of that, then you start wondering, oh look, it's a bunch of kids or people on their way somewhere, they're enjoying the moment, and you don't focus on the person, you focus on the event and what it might mean in people's lives. So there we are. And she was obviously behind them, you know, taking sneak photographs. Oh, Mum, stop that. So thanks for contributing that. You know, it doesn't matter what you take. I come back to this, and I'll probably repeat it every single time ever. My first definition of what a great photograph is if you like it. Then you can start talking about all the other stuff, you know, the technique, the composition, blah, blah, blah. But the number one definition for me of a great photograph is one that means something to you. Rob normally carries around a big camera, apparently. Oh, by the way, if you're watching in the comments, do leave a comment. And I would love to hear from you, hear what you think. But do put your name, in case I don't know, I can't see who you are. For me to see who you are in the system I use, you have to go here. You have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just accept. It's one click. Then when you leave a comment, I can see who you are, and it's much nicer. So if you can do that, streamyard.com/Facebook, just click accept, and it allows me to see your name, your Facebook name. And the other thing I wanted to say there was, no, I can't remember. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, so Rob, this might be his first contribution, I'm not sure. And Rob, like me in the past, carted this big heavy camera around, and he said, we toured Split Rock Lighthouse on Lake Superior. Is that in the States? God, I'm so bad with geography. And he says, this is a view from the stairway in the caretaker's quarters, all right? Being on a crowded stairway with tourists, I needed a quick snapshot as we shuffled downstairs. No time to frame this up with my big camera. So Rob is calling this a snapshot, people. I don't know about you, but I would be very, very happy to get this as a snapshot. I can hardly see anything wrong with this. You know, it doesn't matter what camera you've got, because Rob's got the eye, I would say. He's framed it through this window. I mean, it being the subject being this, obviously. If anyone's ever wondering, yeah, but how do I get a good subject in my photographs? Well, let's just look at this photograph. It's a great example. The subject is clearly, I would say, the lighthouse, if it is a lighthouse. Yeah, Split Rock Lighthouse. This is clearly the subject. If he'd taken the shot through the window, got really close up, so you didn't see the framing, the crisscross of the window, for me, it would have been a much weaker shot. Because one way of drawing attention to the subject is to frame it. And if you got rid of that window, you've lost something. It's actually a weaker shot if you took the window away, because it would just be a standard sort of yeah, I've remembered what I was going to say now. So one great way of drawing attention to the subject is by framing it. Another, I've forgotten again. Another is to have something near and something far. So here you've got the frame is this window, and you know, let's admit it, he's framed it perfectly. It's wonderfully within this diamond shape. It doesn't touch on either side, and Alice will know what I'm talking about when I get bugged. When you see where I'm, you see where I'm moving this little the mouse cursor here. It doesn't touch the edge there, and it doesn't touch the edge there, and it kind of actually is framed by this top bit. This is perfect, and I get bugged when, you know, if this was touching the edge there, I'd think, oh, why didn't they just take a little bit, make a little bit more effort, and not have it touching? And he has. So that's great. And also you move in and out with your phone like this. This is one of the zooms. There's two zooms. One is zooming with the camera lens, or you can actually zoom on the phone itself, but I don't recommend it. And the other zoom, the much more powerful zoom, is your legs, or at least moving your arm like this. This is zooming. And if he'd zoomed, he could have actually made the photograph just this bit here. That's a choice. He decided not to do that. If you'd done that, he wouldn't have been able to put the lighthouse up in the top right. And putting the lighthouse up in the top right, or top left, or bottom right is a way of composing, which is very pleasant. If he'd just wanted to have this diamond shape more or less filling the frame, he would have lost the possibility of being able to put it off, the lighthouse off to, you know, one corner. So it's marvelous. And any other elements? Well, there's these people down here, which are also kind of framed in this bottom bigger lozenge shape. And I just think it's great. You know, for a grab shot, it's pretty good. And that's what comes. You get this automatic feel. The more you take photographs, the more you get a feel for it. You know, he put the lighthouse up in the top right. He framed it nicely. And he also, if you look at this, he also, what is sharp in this photograph? Well, the lighthouse is sharp. And you might not have noticed, and you might not think this is any big deal, but it's actually not that easy to get something through a grid in focus on a smartphone. You know, because the smartphone is very smart. And what does it focus on? It focuses on the frame. It focuses on the window. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tried hard here to actually get the lighthouse sharp, probably by tapping on the lighthouse on the screen, which, if you try hard enough, will actually get that in focus. But sometimes it snaps back. So well done. Excellent. Excellent. Got a couple of comments coming in. 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗦𝗙𝗙 says, hello, everybody. And Alice says, smiley. Okay. We've got a few more comments coming in, and it only said I had 2 comments, and I've got lots more. This is 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗦𝗙𝗙, I think. No, 𝗪𝗓𝗏 maybe says it's 𝗪 plus joli. It's very pretty. This is Alice says, sounds fun. I never take selfies. This is someone else. Sab, who are the winners of the patterns photo? Oh, Facebook user. I can't remember. Maybe I have to go back and do a special post on that. Oops. Alice says, I have a fabulous friend in Bradford. Yes, there are some fabulous people in Bradford. I remember Bradford, not so much for university, but for the rock pubs. I used to have hair. Already, that's pretty incredible, you see. I used to have hair. But I used to have hair down to there when I was at university. I was very proud. I arrived at university at the age of 17 or barely 18 with the longest hair in the whole place. So that was my little claim to fame. Because I wasn't going to get my claim to fame through my academic results. 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗓𝗓 says, hi, everybody. Hi, 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗓𝗓. I think we've already commented on your photograph. If you missed it, it's a shame because I was saying how wonderful it was. And then Alice's latest comment is a smiley, which is nice because it means you're happy. I don't know what you're commenting on or smiling about, but smileys are nice. Right, so that's Rob. How are we doing? We're at 45 minutes and we've still got more photographs to talk about. Again, comments, please. Lots of comments. They do give me something to talk about other than just me, blah, blah, blah. All right, Joanne has contributed. I thought this is amazing. And it's a smartphone. I was thinking, now, did she maybe use a big fancy camera? Look at the way she's got, the water is almost frozen like bits of ice. But it's not ice because look, there's drops in midair. Now it's not completely sharp because that would really, really be pushing it, considering what it is. It's a bunch of water smashing onto, well, she tells us, from October, high water overtaking the dock. And then I asked her about this. She said, yeah, I took it on my iPhone XR. With the live feature, it's fun to find the frame I like best. Okay, live feature. Well, you know, there's a couple of features. I'm not sure if it's the live feature actually. There's a live photo feature on the iPhones now. And what they do is they allow you. You're actually taking a mini video, and before you click, it's actually taking a little video. So when you click, it records a tiny bit of video before you clicked, and a tiny bit after. So you've got a choice. You can actually look at the photograph, like when you actually clicked, or you can look at the live version, which gives you a bit of context. But what you've got to be really careful is that you're not doing something unbelievably embarrassing just before or just after they click, because it'll be in there. You see? So if you're picking your nose or naked or, you know, that sort of thing, probably to be avoided with the live photo feature. I'm not sure if it's that though, Joanne. It might be the bracketing thing where you can actually take a whole bunch of photographs in a row. Or if you keep your finger down, it goes brrr, taking a whole load of shots. Maybe it's that. And yeah, you can choose the best one. So that's a good one, especially with fast moving action. And no doubt other phones have those features as well. This group is all about smartphones. It doesn't matter what smartphone you've got, but it is about smartphones. So do share, especially on Techno Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Share any questions or any fancy features on your smartphone that you love or you'd like to know how to use them better, and other people will be able to help with that. Not necessarily me. It's all about you guys sharing your ideas together. Yeah, so yeah, I was asking, is it really a smartphone shot? When I look this way, by the way, I'm not, you know, watching TV. I've got another screen here, so that's why I show you my left ear for much of this video. Sorry about that. And yeah, I was saying, where is it? But my main interest in this shot also, apart from the frozen water, was it's difficult to know what the scale is. You know, it could be like a meters high wave almost, or it could be centimeters high. The fact that the water is actually not really totally broken up into masses of spray, it's almost like bloop, bloop, it's almost like treacle sort of consistency, suggested to me, even though it looks huge, suggested to me that it was actually quite small. And indeed, she said, the wave is about 6 to 8 inches. So it's a baby wave, or 15 to 20 centimeters, taken at our lake cottage in Falcon Lake, Manitoba, Canada. God, some people live in some amazing places. And Alice says it's a fantastic picture as well. Was this telephoto or a cropped larger shot or actual distance? Well, Alice, Joanne will have to answer that for you. All right, let's carry on. This was all on the Sunday, the very popular Showcase Sunday feature. So I'm hoping this will continue to be popular. Any shots you've got, throw them out there on a Sunday. It's not about critiquing. It's not about feedback unless you want it. It's about just sharing some great shots that you've taken recently. This is David's first contribution. Hello, David Fane. And it's a cute shot of a puppy. And he says, we got our granddaughter a puppy for Christmas. We picked him up a week ago. His name is Milo. Not Milo. And that's cute. And it's, you know, it's actually a nice shot because the subject is very clear. It's beautifully, the doggy that is in the middle at the bottom. The atmosphere is there with the tree. There's actually an interesting effect. And I don't know if you spot it. I've just spotted it, actually. There's these trails of light on the Christmas tree. Now, I wonder how he did that. Maybe it was a special effect which takes points of light and puts trails of light on them. That could be interesting to know, David, if you want to tell us how you got that effect. Because obviously the dog is sharp, more or less sharp, and the writing on... one way to see if a photograph really is sharp is to look for writing or eyes and zoom in, and there's writing there, and it's pretty sharp. So it's not that the camera was moving to get those blurs. So maybe it's a special effect. Let us know, David, what you used there, you know, because some people, if they like that effect, it would be good to know, you know, what is it, an app? Which feature is it? And it gives a nice movement to the shot, yeah, and a nice atmosphere. And also it slightly blurs the tree, which is good, because another way of making the subject stand out, of course, is to make the subject sharp and the background fuzzy. And that's not always easy on smartphones, because depth of field isn't something that is built in to a smartphone. You know, that's a depth of field. In other words, being able to make the background fuzzy is really belongs to the world of SLR photography, big fancy cameras with lots of buttons and dials and knobs. And so in smartphone photography, one of the ways of making your shots just stand out from all the other boring shots is to do that, is to somehow make the background fuzzy. So there are now ways of doing it artificially. I say artificially, it's another way of doing it, where the camera actually recognizes the subject and says, okay, looks like that's the subject, that person there, that shape there looks like a person. I'm going to make them clear and I'm going to throw the rest out. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works exceptionally well. Sometimes it doesn't work quite as well. And don't forget, it's not the same as depth of field on a big fancy camera. It's a different effect. It's not the same. It's the camera processing stuff. It's not an effect of lenses as such. So anyway, there it is. Nice shot, David. And that's great. Yeah, David did post it. His first one, he posted it without any comments, and I came down on him like a ton of bricks and said, don't forget to include a comment with your photographs, because we can't just have photographs on their own here because it's boring. And it's, you know, that's what photo services like Flickr are for. You know, you just dump your photographs. No, here we have to have a comment. Otherwise, there's no point. So that's excellent. So he came back with his comment about that. Brilliant. And well, we got another 5 minutes or so. So let's storm through the rest of these photographs. A lot of lovely. This is from Sandy. Sandy, who is up in the Never Eat Shredded Wheat, the northwest of the North America, in a place called British Columbia by the looks of it. And it's funny because when she posted this, she said, it's 8:20 a.m. Slowly, day by day, minutes of daylight creep back into northern BC. And as bits of daylight were creeping into northern BC, daylight was seeping out of southern Paris, where I am. So I found that quite funny. And, you know, it kind of brings home to you, you know, this planet of ours that we're living on, different things happening for different folks. She's just getting the light, which is just leaving me, but it's the same light. So that was rather nice. And you see very clearly what happens when the sun is low in the sky or hasn't come up yet. And the snow's blue is what I'm trying to say to you. The snow is blue. Why is the snow blue? Isn't snow supposed to be white? Well, it depends. You can't really say that the snow is any color. It's only a color or not a color, depending on what it's reflecting. So yeah, we generally think that snow is white, but it's not really, is it? Because look, here it's blue, you see? And in some cases it might be more yellowy orange. So you've got to decide, first of all, being aware of that fact that when the sun is at certain places in the sky, like in shadows, for example, light often is captured as coming across as very blue. And if you don't want that, if you want your snow to stay white for some strange reason, you've got to realize that, and you might want to play around with the settings afterwards and shift it back towards the orangier end of the spectrum, which will actually turn the snow whiter again. Or it's like also in a room, often, well, a room like this, for example, except that the camera is representing me reasonably faithfully. But in a bar, for example, it happened more when there were the old tungsten lights. You know, those orangey light bulbs that gives a nightclub or a bar a very sort of warm atmosphere. Well, you take your photographs and everyone's orange and everything is orange. And, you know, it gives it an atmosphere, but in some cases you don't want people to be orange. You actually want them to be human colored. So then you might want to shift the colors back towards the blue end, but not into blue, towards the blue end, which stops people being so orange and makes them more human colored again. So yeah, that's one of the things for snow you've got to watch out. Often it turns blue, especially in shadows. And, you know, to be honest, when we looked at it, we probably didn't see it as blue. We saw it as white. So we'd like the photograph to be white so we can shift it back a bit. You know, there's different ways of processing a photograph. One is applying special effects because you want it to look funny or funky. And the other is it's just not represented the colors the way you saw them. That you can call correction. You know, you want it to be more lifelike as you saw it, because sometimes there are limitations to the camera. So that's one thing you can do. That's not really playing around with it. That's literally just moving it back to more what you want it to more faithfully represent the original. Marie's, my friend to the north of New York, I think she is. For some reason, she just lives in a ridiculously beautiful place. I mean, can she literally go out of her house and photograph that? It's not fair. It's not fair. So I said so. You know, I said so in the comments. I said it's absolutely stunning. Oh no! What? Now Maurice does this thing. She has this series. And I get this because I do series as well. So she has this series which she calls floaching. So she coaches people, but she's very much about the flow of life, you know, just being in the flow, going with the flow. So instead of doing coaching, she does floaching. So as you might have guessed, she likes playing with words. So she's done about 100 of these photographs now. So she goes out into her ridiculously beautiful neighborhood, takes a ridiculously beautiful photograph, and then makes a ridiculously jaw-dropping pun that comes to her mind about basically life, the universe, and going with the flow. And she hasn't done one here yet, but I was trying to imagine one. I mean, rivers are pretty good for flow, you know, for flow metaphors, the flow of life. Bridges are also good for metaphors. Bridges that we have to cross, meaning not real ones, but, you know, challenges in life. So I was trying to think of something, you know, but I didn't really do very well. I have to say, sometimes her puns are a tiny little bit excruciating. But she knows this, you know. She knows I laugh. I laugh with her, not near her. I'm laughing with her. But she's marvelous. She's got a real gift for dragging a rather, you know, meaningful stuff out of images. And I love this idea of mixing words with images as well. It takes it to another level. And so I was trying to think of what one of life's less testing bridges to cross was my first effort. Not all of life's bridges are made equal. Because, I mean, this is gorgeous, isn't it? What a beautiful bridge. Some of the bridges in Paris going across the Seine just aren't that beautiful. Some of them are, and some of them just aren't. It's like a boring concrete motorway bridge. But this is a dream. This is a dream. As the river flows, over the bridge goes, said I. Hold back the tears, folks. Hold back the tears. It's so beautiful. So that's another way of playing with your images, is you can throw words at them or let words come out of them. Great, Maurice. Thanks for sharing that. And we're getting towards the end, aren't we? Sana, I don't know if it's Sana or Sana. Now, her origins are Scandinavian. She's got into a big discussion with Rob about Vikings or something. Vikings and saints. I was kind of thinking, what? But then I remembered, oh yeah, North American people get very excited about their local something or other team. And people can't believe that I'm British because I actually don't really follow football. They think I'm even weirder than they thought I was before they discovered that fact. So Sana says, hi everyone, here's the view at a friend's house today here in New Orleans. So she's in New Orleans. A friend's house? Are you kidding me? That is a friend's house? Okay, I want some friends like that. It looks more like Versailles, if you ask me. And then, yeah, she says, yes, it is an idyllic house, not a bad way to spend a Sunday. And then Rob launches into his Vikings are playing the Saints, which I had no idea what he's talking about. But apparently Sana did. And she says, gather, you're a Vikings fan, which is interesting because, as you'll see, Sana says, I'm a true Viking. And she even puts the flag to prove it. What is that flag? Is it Sweden? The yellow cross on the blue? And sometimes Saints fan, as their uniform colours, black and white and gold, are so cool, but no saint, haha. And so it goes on. Anyway, oh my God. She's a Finlander. My name is True Finlander. My wife, this is Rob. Oh my God, it's getting complicated. My wife is a true Finlander. My wife is part Swede, so our house is divided. No, my God. Rob's name is Finlander. His wife is part Swede, so the house is divided. Whew. Anyway, so there's that. Now, I should say something about composition, shouldn't I? Just because I can't help myself. She's put this statue thing off in the bottom left, which kind of, I was saying this last week with the shot of my son looking, the back of his head, looking out through a moving metro on the Paris metro system. We kind of can vicariously enjoy what he's feeling when we're close to the back of someone's head. And it's a bit like what this statue does. We're almost kind of like the statue, which is looking out over this beautiful lake. So that's a nice thing to do. Adds a layer of depth to the photographs. Marie-Louise, latecomer, Marie-Louise says, peaceful serenity by the lake in winter. All is good when my mind is still like nature. Yeah. Now, Marie-Louise and Maryse have a very similar approach to their photography. They love going for walks and taking photographs of nature, very often lakes, and they're both lovely, chilled out people too. So, you know, if you want to be like them, go out into nature and take pictures of trees and lakes. I highly recommend it. So thanks for sharing that. I'm hurrying on a little bit here. We've got some Rhonda. You see all these new people who've contributed? Thank you. It's fantastic. So Rhonda says, on my walk today in Greenport, where I live, I pass by this fireboat museum most days, but today the light was so lovely I had to grab a shot. Well, yeah, of course you should grab a shot. And you've got these two angles. One is the boat coming in like this, vroom, and then there's another angle going the other way, which is the quayside with these two big poles, these mooring posts, I guess. And when you've got these two angles, well, it makes the shot more interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, you've got a zigzag, boom, boom. You've also got the near and far that I mentioned earlier. Without the quayside, that bit of wood and these two posts, it would be a kind of one-dimensional shot, you know, boat on water. But when you've got something close to you, which is clearly much nearer than the further thing, then it gives it that sense of depth to the photograph. And you've also got these two posts. You could even have maybe moved the camera slightly this way so that the post on the right was closer to the edge to kind of fill in this bit of blue here, or not. You know, you could have the two posts equidistant from each side, and if you try moving the camera up a bit, standing up a bit, creeping down a bit, moving to the side, moving in and out. and see what happens. You know, you can always find something that really pleases you. So that's great. Thanks for contributing that, Rhonda. And brilliant, yeah. So we're almost at the end here, and we're almost at the end of the show. Oh my God, I've been going for 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to stop. And there's only 2 more. This is incredible. Look what Beth found as she was wandering around the garden. She says, I found a troll in the garden. Yes, I think you did. Or as I say in my comment, probably just marginally better than him finding you, right? That is great. That is just great. This is something like in Paris. I'm sorry I go on about Paris, but it's where I spend most of my time taking photographs. You wander around and you often see something like this has popped up. You know, it's an ephemeral art exhibition in one of the parks or something. There's always something new to spot. That is just incredible. That is fantastic. Alice says, welcome to the group, Beth. Tough to get the details when the troll is so big and you have to be so far away. But I mean, I would highly recommend being as far away as possible from this troll. So you're talking, you know, zoom lens if possible. And the last one is going to be Alice, last but not least. Beautiful sunset behind us. Unfortunately, the road did not turn, so I could not get the entire sunset in the mirror. Oh, don't worry about that. You know, just take the shot and enjoy it. It says objects in mirror are closer than they appear. That's good, you know, because it's odd. It's not the standard shot of a sunset. To be honest, many shots of sunsets are boring or cliched, or you think they're just, you know, from some sort of meme with some sort of feel-good saying or cliche. It's interesting to have a bit of humanity, you know, a bit of something different, a bit of the idea that you were in your car, you saw that, you grabbed a shot, it's in the mirror. The mirror is a frame within the frame of the photograph. You've got objects in the mirror that are closer than they appear, which is funny. You know, it kind of makes you think the sunset's it's creeping up behind you and is about to jump on your shoulder or something. So, you know, that's great. It's just different. That's what makes a shot interesting. It's just different. It's not the same as all the others. So there you go. I mean, if we were doing a theme on framing, this would be a great example of that, wouldn't it? If I gave you the theme framing, take everything in frames within the frame of the photograph, that would be the ideal thing. So that's the end. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for contributing your photographs to yesterday's theme, which was Showcase Sunday. It's a great one. And we'll be doing it again probably next Sunday, even though on the Monday, the smartphone, can I find it? Have I lost it? Don't forget the smartphone. No, it's not the smartphone anything. It's the stunning, I can't find it. Here we go. It's the Stunning Selfies for Social Media Challenge. It's going to be fantastic, fun, free, 5 days, a new video every day. You will end up with 5 utterly different selfies to any you have ever taken, and you'll be proud of them, and you can share them and get everyone who loves them to join the group with us as well. Okay, so go to the group, sign up for that. You have to sign up or you won't be part of the challenge because you need to get the videos by email. And I will see you again soon. I'll probably be doing another Facebook Live specifically to talk about the challenge. Please invite people to do the challenge. It's free, but I need to attract people. So please get your friends to do the challenge as well. They'll enjoy it. They'll love the fact that you introduced them to it and the group. How much better does life get, eh? So that's it. Thanks for watching and thanks for being part of the group. And see you again very, very soon. Bye for now, dear people, and happy snapping.